Every month I make videos about living in Columbus, Ohio and the Columbus, Ohio real estate market. Well, in this video, I'm going to answer the most often asked questions I've been getting for the last 12 months about Columbus, Ohio and what's going on here. Because I figure if other people have these questions, you might have them as well. And you know what? It all starts right now. So let's go! If you're new to my channel, my name is Marc Van Steyn. I'm a RE/MAX realtor here in Columbus, Ohio. 2023 was a crazy year, and I am very blessed to help many of you who reached out, who are relocating or moving to Columbus find their dream home. And again, for that, I am very blessed. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for reaching out. Well, I kept on getting the same questions over and over again, so I thought it would be a good idea, maybe once or twice a year, to make a video just about the questions that I kept getting, because like I said, if you are from getting these from my clients and people who are reaching out watching the videos, that you watching might have the same questions. So here are the 5 most often asked questions that I get, starting with number 1. Question number 1, and the most often asked question is, Marc, what is going on with the real estate market and what do you see happening in 2024? Well, there's going to be another video on this channel where I'm going to break down my whole forecast for 2024. But just to give you a short synopsis on what's been happening in the Columbus real estate market, and kind of my prediction for 2024. I don't want to make this video like a half hour long, but 2023 was a pretty hot year here in Columbus. You know, I know a lot of other parts of the country have been struggling a little bit. Their markets are down. Ours evened out, so much like everybody else, at the beginning of 2023, the rates are low, the market's on fire, there are big wars, things are going crazy, and then, late spring, the Fed starts to raise the rates, and the rates start to go up, and the Fed raises the interest rates, or the benchmark rate, 6 times throughout the course of the year, which push the interest rates up to just over 8%, I think is where they peaked out in the fall. And that really slowed down our market, much like a lot of the other markets, and pushed a lot of people out of the market. Now, the problem with the interest rates going up and their interest rates being so low is that it stuck people in their houses. And it's something that we've been calling, the golden handcuff rule, because people are now stuck in their homes, and I say stuck, and use the phrase golden handcuffs, because they have these low mortgage rates. And they just can't afford to move. I mean, it just doesn't make any financial sense for them to move. Would they like to move? Absolutely. I've got dozens of clients who would love to sell their house and move up to something bigger because they've had another child, or they just want a little bit more space, but they look at the price of housing and what they're currently paying on their mortgage and what the difference is going to be, and it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense. So that's really hurt our inventory. And that's just not here in Columbus, that's all over the country. So as we kind of approach fall and that interest rate went up, the market really slowed down. Now, did it dip a little bit? In some areas it dipped, but it really just leveled out. And then we turned the corner over into 2024 and the market is on fire again. Rates have come down. They're, in the between 6 and 7 right now. But I will tell you, the real estate market in Columbus, Ohio right now is very, very hot. And I am predicting in 2024 that it's going to be a very robust real estate market. I think we're going to see rates come down. Oh, I know we're going to see rates come down, but I think 2024 is going to be a very hot market. So if you're in the market looking, or maybe on the fence, I would be out searching now. Don't wait till the rates start coming down again, because I know, again, people are kind of watching rates and saying, well, I'd love to have a lower rate, maybe I'll just wait. As those rates come down, demand goes up. So this is up to you, obviously. I tell people it's their money, but think about this. Finding the right house and then refinancing when that rate comes down might be a better option. My absolute favorite question to get is, Marc, we're moving to Columbus, Ohio. Can you help us buy a home? And my answer is always yes. For the last 20 years now, I've been helping people relocate and move to Columbus, Ohio. I'm actually a 3rd-generation real estate agent. My family owns our company. So if you're going to be moving here or relocating here, please reach out. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to reach out. I'm pretty easy to find. Question number 2 is, should I buy now or wait for the rates to fall? Well, I touched on this a little bit in the last question. So rates are going to come down in 2024. How can I say that so confidently? Well, one, the Fed has said they are thinking about lowering that benchmark rate at least 3 times in 2024. And what else is this year? It's an election year. So whenever we get into an election year, the powers that be, the administration who currently holds power, wants to make the economy look strong, so they start to lower the rates, interest rates. So I can say pretty confidently that I expect rates to be, probably under 6, I would say by, this summer at some point. We are not going to see rates like we did last spring, the 2, 3, low 4s. So, if you're thinking about those type of rates, I would just kind of forget that because I don't think we're ever going to go back there. But what happens when the rates start coming down? Well, demand starts going up. So if you're thinking about buying in 2024, start looking now, because if you find your dream home and maybe it's a little bit of a higher rate, I can say pretty confidently that you might be able to lower that rate later on in the year when the rates start coming down. Again, it's all a numbers game. You have to run the numbers, what makes sense to you. And again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just making a prediction. I'm a boots on the ground real estate agent, so I tend to make predictions. Don't use this as financial advice, obviously. But again, when those rates start coming down, demand goes up. And so what happens when demand goes up? We get into bidding wars. And so what do you ultimately end up paying for a house? Are you bidding up homes $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000? Unfortunately, I think that's what we might be going after. So if you're in the market, start looking now. That way, if you find your dream home, you have the potential to refinance a little bit later in the year. Question number 3 is, Mark, where are the best places to live in Columbus? Well, that's a little bit of a loaded question. There are a lot of really, really nice areas and a lot of really nice school districts around Central Ohio. And when I say Central Ohio, you've got Columbus, Ohio, then you've got Central Ohio, and that includes all of the suburbs that kind of surround it. So it really starts on where your budget is and what is affordable to you. And do you have children who are going to be attending a school district? Now, the nice thing about Columbus or Central Ohio is that we've got some really great school districts. I've got 2 videos on this channel. One talks about the 5 best suburbs in Columbus, and the other talks about the 5 top rated school districts. So if you haven't watched those, you might want to take a minute after you watch this video and check those out. Because that's where usually people who are relocating start. Do I have school-age children? What school district do I want them to be? So based on that, what areas or what suburbs can I afford to be in? Based on where the median or the average cost of housing is. And it's all over the board in Central Ohio. You have the top rated or the most expensive area last year was New Albany, all the way down to the city of Columbus or the city of Columbus schools, which is going to be on average about $350,000, which is still pretty high. And there are some other affordable areas out there. There's another video on this channel that talks about the 5 best affordable areas. So check that one out as well. But again, it all starts about what you're looking for and what is going to be affordable to you. Question number 4, Mark, what is going on with Intel? Well, in case you haven't heard, Intel is coming to Columbus. They are investing $20 billion in Central Ohio to build a chip manufacturing plant. It's going to be the largest in the world. And right now, those chip plants are being built out in the New Albany area. It's kind of between Johnstown and New Albany, out on the east side of Columbus. Now, they're a little bit behind from what I hear. We're looking at starting to hire in 2025. I think they're now have pushed that back to second or third quarter of 2025. They're not quite as far along as they would hope to be. Go figure. They're building something. But Columbus is really going to change. It's going to become a huge presence in Central Ohio. They're going to hire 10,000 employees right off the bat. And then on top of that, all the ancillary companies that supply Intel are projected to hire 13 for every 1 employee that Intel is going to bring into Columbus. So, do some quick numbers in your head. So that's the influx of people that should be coming or potentially coming into Columbus, Ohio. So what is that going to do to our real estate market? Well, no one really knows, but I, for one, am a little bit nervous because right now we just don't have the density right now. We just do not have the supply of homes for all these people. So if you are thinking about purchasing something, please do it in 2024 before 2025 rolls around and Intel really starts picking up speed, because again, I'm a little bit concerned with the low supply that we have, what's going to happen to the pricing of homes, because quite frankly, Columbus is just becoming almost not unaffordable, but the price of housing just keeps on going up and up, and that's a big concern to me. So again, if you're thinking about purchasing a home or on the fence, try to do it in 2024. Question number 5, and lastly, Mark, we are moving to Columbus and we see that a lot of the properties have basements. What are the pros and cons to having a basement? And I get this question a lot about basements. So you're absolutely right. We have basements here in Central Ohio. And I would say about 85% of the properties do have them. And if you're moving from, let's say, a California or a Texas or an Arizona where much of the housing doesn't have basements, I would tell you that it's very much a positive. And if you're looking for, especially for a single family home, you're definitely going to want one that has a basement, because so many of them, other homes in Central Ohio have them, and you really want to conform with the rest of the properties that hold that property's value. So from a pro standpoint, the nice thing about basements is it's great storage. You can finish them off. You can throw your children downstairs, they can run around and play. It's just really good living space or storage space. And so many people here in Columbus will finish it off and make it living space. You've probably heard the term, man cave. There are some great man caves throughout Central Ohio. People will spend a lot of money in their basements finishing it off. Again, it's just great extra living space. Now, the cons to having a basement are ones you could probably figure out. Foundation issues and water issues. Now, the good news is that as you're walking through homes in Central Ohio and looking at in basements, you can gather the ones that have foundation issues or potentially have foundation issues or have had water issues in the past. So don't be scared of basements. They kind of are what they are. The other side of that are people are concerned about, what happens if I buy something and then it floods. Well, again, there are certain steps that you can take and certain steps that I explain to my clients that you can do to make sure that doesn't happen to you. But it is definitely something not to be scared of. It is absolutely a positive. So if you're looking for a single family home in Central Ohio, I would absolutely recommend buying one that does have a basement. Well, that's it. I hope you found the video informative and maybe a little bit entertaining. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments down below. I monitor that thread pretty regularly, and I'm happy to answer them. Or if you want to have a conversation, just reach out. You can give me a call. You can shoot me a text. I have people reaching out all the time, asking me questions about the real estate market and what's life like here in Columbus, Ohio. And most importantly, if you're thinking about relocating here and think you might need some professional help, I can do that as well. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to reach out. I'm pretty easy to find. And make sure you subscribe, because I am dropping new videos every week on what it's like living here in Columbus, Ohio. Until next time.